Good morning, Bulldogs. Welcome to another week of virtual instruction. It's Tuesday, May 26th, 2020, coming off our long Memorial Day weekend. Hope everyone had a safe holiday and you got some time to reflect on the meaning of the holiday. I saw that many of you did give good videos, and I thank you for the time and attention and thought that you put into it. So today we're playing music of Stevie Nicks. She turns 72 today. She was born in Phoenix, Arizona. She's a singer-songwriter. Many people know her from her fame with Fleetwood Mac, but she also did have a solo career. She produced over 40 top 50 hits, sold over 140 million records, and has a vast collection of different awards and things. So happy birthday, Stevie. So if you did watch Friday's video, you noticed that it was really the first time that the New York Times and the BBC did not have a coronavirus story as like their top leading story. But over the weekend, they had a lot of important articles dedicated to those who were lost to the virus. And they had the names of the 100,000 or so people that lost their lives to the virus over the past few months. So this is just an image of, they also did a visual with all like the 100,000 bodies, and they just highlighted some of the people in this visual. Like you see here, I thought this little screenshot was important for you guys because you see that Alice Cooper Smith was the first girl admitted to the Bronx High School of Science. So, imagine, that girls were not allowed to be at our STEM academy. And how important it would be to be the first to be so. So we can thank her as being one of the people who led the way for many of us. So the New York Times today does continue to lead with stories relating to the coronavirus. You may have noticed that meat packing plants have been a big issue. You may have noticed that meat has been hard to come by for several different reasons. Since this outbreak, but also with the closed conditions, many workers in these plants have gotten the virus. Think of what we read when we learned about the jungle and the meatpacking industry and what is still the same and what's different today. So they say that meat packing plants are reopening, the ones that were closed, but there's still like insufficient data on that. So we do need to pay attention to make sure those people are safe. You see here the visual of how bad it is in the United States, right? It is sort of on the decline in this area, which is good, but it's still, dark red where they are. I actually spent the weekend in helping clean out an apartment of someone who died of COVID, and his relation was to a former student and a former athlete of mine. And it's, it was hard to sleep last night just knowing what all these people are going through. And I also say that to remember that once I'm your teacher, I'm always your teacher. So if you ever need help in the future, I'll always try my best. All right, so here is another article which was down a little bit in the New York Times, and I did not read it yet. Notice that the COVID articles from the New York Times have been free. The other ones are always free and we're in school, but we're not in school right now. So you get 10 free articles a month. So just keep that in mind if you want to look for it. But we started off the year with our unit on 9/11, and this article is about the Taliban in Afghanistan. Meaningful, again, as we just honored Memorial Day, but also, as we start to leave Afghanistan, what is going to happen? Will the Taliban have a resurgence in power, and why that would be of concern to us? And there's also a lot of images about what's going on there as well. So try to check that out today if you can, and see if you can still make connections to what we learned in our first unit. I apologize if these cars are noisy. I didn't want to wake up my whole house this morning. I never know what's the best thing to do. So the BBC News, I was reading those this morning, these stories. European countries mull reopening borders. People have not been able to travel back and forth. Now, like, think of some smaller European countries, like Denmark is saying, we have like couples that can't see each other because they live on opposite sides of the border, and how they're going to try to ease restrictions for them. Some of these countries are looking to lift travel restrictions by mid to the end of June, partially to help the economy, partially because for the social needs of the people, but hopefully because they think it's also safe. The story in the bottom left is disturbing. This was not in the front page of the New York Times, even though it did happen in New York. A video was going viral yesterday of a video of Amy Cooper taken by a man whose last name was also Cooper. I don't remember his first name, so I'll call him Mr. About her harassing him when he asked her to put his dog on the leash. He was an African American man, and we've seen an unfortunate collection of these videos with women calling the police on African American men for not criminal things whatsoever. She has since lost her job with an investment firm in New York, and she also returned her dog to the rescue shelter from a few years ago. So if you see the video, not only is the man treated poorly, but even her own dog is treated poorly. So we need to, what do we need to do in America to stop incidences like this? And a lot of connections are made to the Arbery case, where unfortunately that man lost his life. So those are some of the big articles here. I want to tell you a little bit about what happened on this day in history. I'm only picking one thing because it's going to take me a few seconds to explain today's assignment. Make sure you're keeping up with your timelines, because in the next class I'm going to explain what you need to do for those. So that's Thursday. So on May 26th, 1897, author Bram Stoker of Ireland, his Dracula, the novel, was published. Now, you should remember that 1897 was during the Industrial Revolution. And you probably learned, maybe you learned in your ELA classes, how Frankenstein revealed the fears that existed in people in the Industrial Revolution. And Dracula did so in some ways as well, sort of looking at the fears of capitalism and how workers are being exploited. Think about how he needed their blood to live and sucked them dry, so to speak. So if you're interested in learning more about those connections, you can look online. If you just want to discuss it with me, shoot me an email and I'd be happy to do so. But today we are doing our Literature of Imperialism lesson. This was supposed to be 2 different lessons. It would have been several lessons if we were in school, but we're adapting and overcoming the best we can. So it pains me to do so. But instead of covering Shooting an Elephant or White Man's Burden, you get to choose which assignment you're doing today. So I'm posting 2. You only have to do 1. Okay? If you are highly motivated, you have the time, you're interested in this era, maybe you really want to go into an honors level history in the future, and you want to do 2, and you want to see if it can be worth any credit or something, shoot me an email, and if I have enough responses, I'll post what it could be worth or something. So the first option is Shooting an Elephant by George Orwell. I've heard many of you guys reference him earlier this year in our journal discussions, the author of Animal Farm, 1984. And George Orwell was actually stationed in Burma under the days of the British Empire. And this is a short story. So you can go online and find Shooting an Elephant. I also posted a video. I read it about 2 weeks ago. Once again, I don't expect you to watch me for 15 minutes, but if you're busy and you just want to play it and you can hear it instead of sitting at a screen reading, that is an option. I like to try to give you options, especially for those that just need to get off the computer. So if you do this, there's 2 parts. One, you need to, there's a graphic organizer. And it's important that you explain the advantages for the imperializers, which are the British, and the disadvantages. And then the advantages for the imperialized, who were the Burmese, and the disadvantages. So why was imperialism helpful for the British? How did it hurt the British? How was it helpful for the Burmese? How did it hurt the Burmese? And you do not need to Google these answers. They're all in the story. You're supposed to be finding examples from the story. If you love elephants like I do, I'll give you a warning, right? It's called Shooting an Elephant. But a person dies as well, which is obviously even more tragic. Okay, so that is a short story. Now, another very popular poem is The White Man's Burden. White Man's Burden is a poem that was written by Rudyard Kipling. You may know him from The Jungle Book. So what happens in the late 1800s, the United States wins the Spanish-American War, and as a result, we acquire Spanish possessions, which include things like Cuba, Puerto Rico, but also the Philippines. So this poem that Kipling wrote was about his example as a British person being like, hey, we've been imperialists. Welcome to the club, America. But this is what you're going to have to deal with as imperialists. Very much making him, the imperialists, seem like the saviors to help the poor people. So we can see both racism and ethnocentrism by today's standards in the poem. It also makes references to this cartoon in the assignment. So if you choose the white man's burden, you get to actually do a blackout poem. So those of you who like or more creative and like poetry, you may choose this one. That's the first part. And the second part is just to answer a couple questions related to this cartoon. So this is for more the visual, artsy, you can choose. So this cartoon was published in the Detroit Journal in 1898. Keep in mind, Kipling's poem, White Man's Burden, was also published in a magazine. And in case you have trouble seeing it, I just wanted to go over a few things with you here. You see this is a hill. You see this is a U.S. soldier. You can see it's U.S. because his canteen says U.S. on it, and you see the flag. And he's going up a hill. So think of what did that symbolize? And up top, that says schoolhouse. Okay. On the hill, you see the feet, like in the ground of another probably soldier. And notice that the person he's carrying is a Filipino. Notice it does not look like a person, right? Remember what we discussed about in order to treat other humans as not equal, you have to make them seem like they're not human. You may notice this person does not really, has a lot of animal characteristics. So I don't want to give you too much because I want you to explain a little bit about it, but I just want you, in case you have trouble actually seeing it, to see that. Okay, so like I said, you have one of two things: do either shooting an elephant or white man's burden. If you really want to do both, let me know and we can chat. And by next class, we're going to be moving on to our world wars. We're going to have a quick unit on that before the year runs out. If you have any questions, please let me know. I have to go pick up my children's things at their schools today, but other than that, I'll be around to answer emails and things throughout the day. All right. Miss y'all. I'm proud of everything you guys have been doing. Stay safe. Be well.